Hello, welcome back to the Mr. Arsenal podcast for the North London derby, the first of the season preview. I've been away for a few days now, actually. As you can see, I'm joined already by Melvin and Steve. Gary is on his way as well. How are we doing, guys? Are we excited now for North London derby, or are you still a bit nervous?
I'm looking forward to it.
Melvin?
If the boys turn up,
I'm looking forward to it. Definitely. But I know I'll be nervous. I'm not trying to think about it for the moment. Just a little bit nervous.
Aren't we all, though, let's be honest. Especially our record against start the season against Man City and Chelsea doesn't exactly fill us with confidence. But to be fair, since then we have sort of turned it around, sort of in terms of results, not performance per se, but results.
Don't really put Tottenham in the Chelsea Man City category, to be fair.
No, reason I mentioned them because there's obviously a big game. It's a derby. That's the only reason. But yeah, I get what you're saying at the same time. And also, let's be honest, even when we were the top dog of North London properly, they were bastards in that North London. It was always a close one in that North London derby and all that. The 1-1s, the 2-1s, the odd 3-1 here and there. But mainly it would be either a 1-1 draw, I remember, or we'd just nick it 2-1. I remember the double winning season at Highbury, Lauren with a last minute penalty down the middle, won us the game.
Yeah, well, they're always close games, aren't they? Generally, So I think if we win, it's just a launch pad, isn't it, to the rest of the season? Really, I think that just gives them the lift, they want. Play a top six, allegedly a top six side, and beat them, and then move forward from there. It's the next game, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, Melvin, obviously, bloody hell. You was at the game on. Was it the game on Wednesday?
Wednesday.
So you saw as well what I saw. The first half, we got the first early goal, and we sort of sat back and allowed Wimbledon to just come at us. If we do that we do that against anyone in the Premier League, we'll get in trouble, basically.
I can understand it if you haven't got the greatest attack in the world, you nick a goal, and you've got the best defence this side of the Mississippi. Fair enough, but we haven't got the best defence in the Mississippi. Why do we give teams a chance to get back in the game? Teams like Chelsea, like Man United to a degree, most certainly Liverpool. Once they smell blood, they go for it. Game over. We seem to say, right, we've scored now. Let's see what you can do. And sometimes the other teams can do it. So it's never good to give the other team the advantage. It's all about confidence, this game, and momentum. And once you're 1-0 up, just keep pressing, and you can break them. You won't break them defending. That's a certainty, especially with our defence. But having said that, I think our defence in another few weeks, with the same back four goalkeeper, which will probably come on later, I think could be okay. I really do. You need a defence to play together for a period of time. I'm not saying it's going to happen in 3 weeks, but in a couple of months, I think they'll be getting better and better. Because I like the individuals, I like the way they play, and I think they've all got qualities that we need to defend. So, but as you say, the other night, did you go, Steve, the other night?
No, I couldn't. I was working, unfortunately, but I caught some of the highlights. But
the highlights didn't tell the story.
I mean, you couldn't see the game anywhere, could you? Because it wasn't being, something to do with the licenses with Carabao, wasn't it? They couldn't transmit any of the.
No.
That was ridiculous, though.
I think you might have been all right if you lived in northern Canada or somewhere, or an island in the Pacific. You might be all right to watch it, but in England, the UK, rather, no chance. Timbuktu.
I mean, the highlights I did see was a couple of shots of Leno dithering about at the back again, waiting for his. He wasn't decisive again, clearing the ball out, picking players. He's waiting for players to get pressurised before he gives them the ball, which doesn't bode well for his future in terms of coming back against Tottenham. Can't see him coming back against Tottenham, to be fair.
Well, the only way he's going to get back is with great performances with his hands, really. And he had nothing to do with his hands the other night. So I suppose the talking point on his feet, he wasn't over impressive. The trouble is now for him, he's lost the number one spot. It may not be for a long time, but he's not an automatic choice, put it that way now. But best is not an automatic choice.
I think we'll find out on Sunday with that one.
Well, that's what I was going to just mention that. I was going to say about that.
Yeah.
If Leno plays on Sunday, I'm confused.com. I really am. If he picks Xhaka on Sunday, I'm confused.com. I think we'd be taking 3 steps forward the last 3 games and 2 steps back if he does that. But who knows? Anything can happen in the next half hour, as they used to say. And with Arteta with his team selection, you know, I've got in my fingers from scratching my head the last couple of years. But listen, hopefully he's getting closer to knowing his best 11, and hopefully he doesn't change too much from the last 2 league games.
I think the team will be pretty much the same. I think the only 2 decisions really are Leno and Xhaka. I think the rest of the team pretty much picks itself for that game. The back 4, you know, the front 4, front 5, depending on how we play it. So I think it's just a question of does he bring Xhaka back and drop Lokonga for no apparent reason other than, you know, he thinks Xhaka will play better against Tottenham than Lokonga, but I don't see that. I'm not in that camp. And why play Ramsdale and then drop him after 2 really good games, 2 clean sheets?
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense. So he was positive in everything he did. He gave the ball to the right players at the right time. He was quick. He was decisive. Anything he had to do in the box, he was tidy. He was in command of it. Why would you drop a young player like that?
The thing is, Steve, he had something that we haven't had for some time. Like Martinez had, it was his presence. And it makes such a big difference for a goalkeeper. You know he's about. You know where at any given time when that ball gets crossed, apart from the different colour jersey, you know he's going to be in the right spot. You can pick him out straight away. You know, it really is. You know, he's very impressed me. I didn't know a lot about him. I only saw him play. Well, I can recall once on the TV, I saw him play against Liverpool, where he was stopping everything with every part of his anatomy. But that didn't mean I thought he was a good goalkeeper. He just had one of those games. I thought that wow, he should now give up, retire, because he never play like that again. But he was that good. And when the rumours we were going to sign him, I wasn't pro or anti. I was just really. It's interesting. I didn't think we'd spend all that money on a number 2, but we did. But perhaps the number 2 is the number 1. And I'll tell you something. I like you said, Steve. I like everything I've seen about him. I like his spirit. I like he's got leadership qualities, in my opinion. He's got everything that is needed to be top goalkeeper, and also for a long time. I mean, goalkeeper, he can be for the next 10 years. Who knows? You know. And if you're looking at our defence, if White makes it big time, I hope he does. Our defence could be the same defence for 5, 6, 7 years. How good's that? The last time we had that, we had the best defence in the country for a long time. And so this might be something that you know the manager was looking at. There's no more, you know, just getting someone for a season. I don't want that anymore. I want youngsters that can learn to play together as a defence, communicate together, and if he was meant to do it, I'd say good luck. You know, hats off to him. Well done.
Well, I think I tweeted something about. I'm getting the feeling this is the start of a great back 5. You know, you can see them growing together and learning together, and you know they're starting to win the 50-50 balls. I don't think Tommy Ashu's lost an aerial duel yet, has he? I think he's had a dozen headers and he's won all of them. I mean, you know, and he looks solid. His recovery's quick. Gabriel looks like he could lead the side, you know, and Ben White's doing what Ben White does, and Tierney's really sort of feeling confident in his other defenders, and you've got Ramsdale as well. I think that sets you up, doesn't it? Really. I mean, when Wenger came in, he had a great back 5, didn't he? And I think, you know, we've now got potentially, you know, that type of calibre of players, albeit they're young, which obviously means they've still got room for improvement. So if they're that good now, what they're going to be like next season and the season after?
As long, Steve, as the manager keeps playing them together,
and they don't get injured, you know. If you
that's you can't
No, you can't odd that, but that's sort of our injury record is not great, is it? And you always think, well, you know, Partey picks up something or Gabriel picks up something. Who are you going to bring in? It's Mario or Holding, isn't it? And then you know, but you know, as you say, you can't odds injuries. They can come at any time, can't they? So if they stay fit and they play together week in, week out, I think they'll develop into a solid back five for us. We can build from there then.
I mean, Gabriel is glad. Sorry, I apologise.
No, it's gone.
Just to say that Gabriel looks like the player we bought last season before he had the illness.
Yeah.
Aggressive, solid, confident, and wow, what a player he could be. He carries on.
Exactly.
And, I was going to say, because you mentioned Ramsdale before. Obviously, I went to the game with my cousin, and afterwards we went back to the tolly afterwards. Got a chance to a few people, obviously a few of the guys there, a few randoms there. And one of them said he was at the Norwich game, and he was literally in the gods, basically up in the upper tier. And he said for the first time ever since he's been at the Emirates, since I was at Avon left, he could actually hear a goalkeeper actually for Arsenal screaming his fucking head off at the defence, like do this, do that, effing and blinding, and showing some passion. And he said he was at Rose FC basically, as I said, in the gods, and normally you don't hear nothing. So imagine that's there. Imagine what it would have been like in a lower tier to hear that
on the pitch. If you're a defender,
what the hell? I'm not used to this.
Yeah, but he's playing. He's playing with his passion, isn't he? And he's at a similar age to the other four. He's not got like a 34-year-old centre back that he's having a shout at. You know, he's not feeling intimidated by any of those back four, is he? He wants to be the number one, and he's doing everything he can to be that number one. And why shouldn't he be? We bought him for a serious amount of money, and there's, Mel said we don't buy that sort of money for a number two, do you? It's just that he's got his opportunity a lot sooner. So stick with him.
I think he appreciates going from where he's come from to being at the Arsenal. He's going to grab it with both hands. He just wants it badly, and that's what you want in players with desire. And he's got the desire to take this opportunity and make something of it.
And we saw last week as well.
Sorry, come on.
I was going to say, also Vabsa we saw last week after the game, he literally goes over, takes his shirt off. Obviously, there's everyone clamoring for his shirt. And he actually went, no, for the kid, give it. Make sure he made sure it went to the kid.
Yeah.
And obviously, again, little things like that, even though he's just coming, little things like that, for the younger generation, will mean a lot going forward. And build that connection with him. And again, he hasn't done nothing wrong either.
Imagine that penalty incident. If it had been a penalty and he'd saved it, for instance, just think how much he'd have been elevated from that point. It's almost he's destined to be number one.
Yeah.
You got VAR. We've had two big VARs go in our favour, which last season that would have cost us 4 points. How many points did we? There was some stats about how many points we lost through tight VARs that would have pushed us into the top 6 easily. This season we've got 2 VARs going in our direction for a change. So, things start to stack up, don't they? Things start to go your way.
Yeah. And as I said, again, like Melvin and all you guys know, I wasn't exactly keen on when I heard about the Ramsdale, because it's more so because obviously we're linked with a more experienced goalkeeper in Onana from Ajax, who would be a bit cheaper, but he's the same age, but he's more experienced. I was thinking, then we went from that to that. I think, oh bloody hell! But you know what? He's unlike other people. I'm happy to be proved wrong in this situation, and so far, touch wood, he's doing that. And hopefully, as we're talking about, obviously goalkeeping, hopefully Arteta's learned his lesson from last year, because obviously similar when Nana got injured, Martinez came in, did nothing wrong. Part of the reason why we won the FA Cup and all that, and then dropped him and sold him and all that jazz. Hopefully this time, hopefully with that, the 12 months he's learned from that and realised now he's done this, unless obviously Ramsdale has an absolute clanger of form and drops the ball literally, he needs to stay in goal now. And then there has to be the cup goalkeeper and suck it up, basically. And also out of the two, who's more committed to the club going forward, publicly?
Well, Ramsdale, obviously.
Yeah.
And as already said a couple of times, he's he wants to move. So, I'm not a lover of playing players that want to leave. That's it.
No, exactly. And what again, that's another critique we've had about this club for years that we've mentioned it with Granite. We've already mentioned it with Granite before, and in previous podcasts that he literally is on the verge of going to Rome. He's twerking for Rome itself and Rome and Mourinho. And it falls through, and then suddenly home's where the heart is. Well, that's the case. He will be here anyway. That's not nonetheless. So, and it's, again, even years gone by, we just had players that are just happy to take a paycheck, and we've allowed it to happen. And
I think so.
with this could be send a strong message, not just to Leno, but the goalkeeper, the players in general at the club, that your spot ain't safe. No matter what you are, who you are, and what you are, you've got competition now in your respective areas.
Well, that's why he brought back Jaffa back. It sends out the wrong message to the players.
Shocking if he does that. Shocking.
You know,
I think we've got to take our hat off to the club, the Arteta obviously included, that we've made the signings we've made. They're as I said, the signings we've made, they've all been look pretty good signings for me.
Yeah, I mean, none of them have let us down so far, have they? None of them.
You can't knock any of them, can you, Steve? Really?
No, not really. Even Tavares has only come in slightly. I mean, he looks, if we didn't have Tierney, I'd be more than happy to have him as our regular left back.
Yeah, I mean, literally, again, it was Melvin was saying it's at the game Wednesday, and everything attacking wise went through him, and even defensively, he was actually solid. No, it's Wimbledon and the 2 leagues below us, but still, he put a shift in, and he didn't do nothing. He didn't step out of line basically. And every time we attacked, the players that had the ball, no matter what, they were looking to see him in space and just fed the ball through to him. He can cross the ball as well. It just isn't. There's no one had to tap it in.
I was a little bit critical of him on the night sitting next to my son. I thought he didn't usually. I know he's left-footed, but he was over left-footed. I know he scored against Glasgow Rangers with his right foot, and I thought perhaps this guy can, kick with both feet. And he didn't kick with his right foot once, with a couple of chances to push it inside. Having said that, the energy he's got. I'd like to know how many bloody meters he covered on.
It'd be a lot.
It was non-stop from one corner flag to the other. Whenever the ball went left, it only went to him. Seemed to be attracted to him. He was running into space, as you said, Ryan, and it kept coming to him all the whole time. And he was just moving on with it and going forward and crossing the ball. It was good. It was absolutely good. Really enjoyed that. But I say he's got a little bit to learn, obviously. But I can't knock him because he's just got in the league. If he has that little bit more confidence on his right foot, it'll make him a much better player.
I mean, you mentioned earlier about, the performance against Wimbledon being off the pace and whatnot. But if you think about it, also 4 games ago, that was our first 11. Now that's our second 11 in terms of back 4 and a couple of players omitted. You're now talking about Leno, Mari, Holding, Cedric, who were starting for the first 11.
Yeah.
And now they're not. And now we're winning games. So it's a little bit of, that's what you could be having if you played those players against Tottenham, as opposed to the players that we will be playing against Tottenham.
You can't do that, surely you can't. He's got to play.
No, you can't. But that's what we had available when we started.
Oh, true. Yeah.
That's where I'm coming from. Really, that's what we started with, but that's not where we are now. So that's why I'm more confident on about Sunday than I would have been if that would have been potentially our starting 11 from the first 3 games.
That's true, you say. And also, don't forget, some of the players that played against Brentford weren't fully fit anyway. They had a touch of
exactly, Martinelli would never
when you
have played
take that into
game.
consideration.
Martinelli would never have played that game under normal circumstances, would he? Balogun wouldn't have started that game.
No.
So
a big plus for me for the Wimbledon game was seeing Martinelli seem to get a bit of his confidence back. Did you notice that, Ryan? The touches he was doing, the flicks, the coming inside, the moving on, his movement off
taking on the defender and all that as well.
Yeah, he never did that earlier. He's lost. We thought he lost a little bit of that, but playing against Wimbledon has hopefully given him that confidence because he can do it. He's got it all there. Yeah. And I don't think he'll play against Spurs. He won't be in the starting lineup. But to spring him on with 20 minutes to go, just to give him a little bit more time, I think it's the right thing to do. Score ball allowing, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, we've got what we look like a settled 11, all bar, one or two potential places, but I don't see them as being, I don't see there's a decision to be made between Ramsdale and Leno, really. Ramsdale starts, and I don't see really a decision for any real reason to bring Xhaka back into the side. I don't think he makes us potentially stronger, but if anything, he's got that mistake. And just imagine if you brought him in, dropped the Congo, and by some bizarre, he got sent off in the first 20 minutes.
Or gave a penalty away like he did last season.
Yeah, exactly. Or or give the ball away midfield
penalty.
and Son knocks it to Kane and Kane knocks it in. It's you can just see it happening, can't you? But I don't see that happening with Lokonga and Partey. That's my opinion.
Ryan, in the Wimbledon game, who was your biggest disappointment wearing the Arsenal shirt? Again, that was my knee-jerk reaction. And it's probably still my reaction. I only saw the game live. I didn't see it again, obviously, because it wasn't recorded.
Well, like I was going to say
Lacazette.
Yeah, that's why that would have been my call, Lacazette. I thought he looked cumbersome.
Yeah.
But
again, is he on his way out? He's got, is he going to go in January or sign some? He's in the last year of his contract. He's got no incentive. There's no contract on the table, is there?
No, but you still give your all. Normally he does give it. I don't think he's got it physically either. I think he looks slow. He really looks slow.
Steve's asking in chat as well. Do you guys think we'll go for Partey, Smith, and Odegaard as a midfield three, or revert back to a 4-2-3-1 on Sunday?
I think it'll probably be Partey, Lokonga, and either Smith Rowe or Odegaard for me. I think he might go with Odegaard to start and bring Emil on.
Wow.
Difficult one.
It's a shame that we can't play with the Smith Rowe and Odegaard. They're both lovely footballers. They do a slightly different job. If we had that solid midfielder to sweep up everything, we could possibly afford the pair of them.
Yeah, it's where you sacrifice somewhere else in the side, though, isn't it? I suppose.
Yeah.
Who do you sacrifice? Pepe, and then what does that mean? Smith Rowe plays on the left, Saka on the right. It's
my view with Pepe. He is a luxury. He's got unbelievable skill, but he is a luxury. And I think for all his skill and for all his speed, he slows our game down. I know that makes stupid. He's firstly, he gets the ball, he stops. Where Smith Rowe will get it moved. Odegaard, get it moved. Look for the next one. And I'm not going to go at that. I'm just saying the difference is he slows us down a bit. He might bring us something else with his shooting and his benders in the far corner and all that goodness. But I think he slows us down a little bit. And to me, my favourite player is Smith Rowe.
Yeah.
Ahead of Saka. Saka did brilliantly when he came on the other night. He ran it. He ran the show for that short period of time. He made the difference. But Smith Rowe, I think he's different class.
Smith Rowe he's all about going forward, isn't he? He's all about, he gets the ball, he's looking forward, he's quite happy to run with the ball, beat his man, pass the ball, keep going. I mean, that's what you want, isn't it? And I think I'd like to see him in the side with Odegaard, but it's just a question of how you get them in the side together, isn't it? And what sort of formation you'd go with. But if you want Partey and Lokonga, then it's either Odegaard or Smith Rowe, potentially. But who knows? Arteta might do something completely different and drop Pepe and play them both.
Also, Steve's asking as well, if you bring in the Congo midfield for the North London derby, who do you drop? Granit, number 34, whoever you want to put. At a party alongside the Congo on it, but be honest there.
Well, if you're not bringing in Lokonga, he's in the team anyway.
I'm just reading what the comments says on.
Yeah, I know. That's what my answer would be.
I think because now obviously 34 is back, Granit Xhaka, whatever. Because he's now back from he's just COVID and suspension on it, isn't he? So that's why he's mentioned it.
Actually, Steve's right. I've got a good answer for him. He is right, actually. I thought the other night, who was very lackadaisical, long words for me, I know, was Maitland-Niles in midfield. He was so, giving the ball away. Yeah, shall I try? Oh, look, it's gone to him. He didn't. For a guy that wants to make the midfield position his own, because he's got all the attributes. Don't get me wrong. To me, he didn't give it all the other night to stamp his authority on that position and make it. Didn't do it. And I was disappointed with him as well. I think he's got it all. He's got speed. He's strong. He can see a pass. He can dribble. But for some reason, whatever the X factor is, I don't think at the moment he's showing it.
I think with that outburst on his social media a few weeks ago, I think he put too much pressure on himself. Arteta's just going, okay, we'll keep you, don't worry. And in the meantime, since then, he just keeps hanging him out to dry, and like give him enough rope and see what he does with it, basically. And Ainsley's just not doing nothing with it.
Shouldn't he try and prove the manager wrong, though, Ryan?
He should be, but
mate, I'll show you how good I am.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But he's taking the rope and not doing. He's just hanging himself more so.
Well, I think that's what that's what you see in some of the other players when they've been given that opportunity. They've grabbed it, haven't they? Ramsdale, Lokonga, Tavares. They want to play. They've been given an opportunity and they're going to give 110%. Don't matter who they're playing against.
Yeah.
So Matt Ainsley's been around a while now, and he's not really cemented any position within the team. And the problem with utility players sometimes is they never find a position, do they? They're always being brought in.
That's the problem. Yeah.
1 minute you're right back, then you're left midfield, then you're right midfield, then you're right wing back, and it's like, well, I'd rather him settle on one position and be the best he can be at that position, whatever that.
What's that expression? There's an expression, Steve. Something, master of none.
Yeah.
Master of everything?
No. Anyway, I'll get it later.
Yeah.
Somebody
3 o'clock in the morning. Can I give you a call 3 o'clock in the morning, Ryan? Tell I've got it. I know what it is. Now, Mark 3.
Jack of all trades.
I hear what you're saying, Mark. And I've heard a rumour. It's only a rumour that the next 2 months there's going to be a statue outside the stadium of our number 34. So everything will be levelled up. Don't worry, we'll be fine. It's a nice little statue for him.
But also, Ainsley, going back to the other night, again talking to the same people, and they asked the question, where was he meant to be playing on Wednesday? Because 1 minute he's in the middle, then he's out on the defence on the wing back role, then he's in the middle again, then he's out. He couldn't make up where he wanted to be along the back line.
Who was it? Sorry,
Ainsley.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He just randomly popped up in random places, and he's just doing our heads in. It's not. The thing, it doesn't help him either. Him doing whatever he's doing, it's not helping himself. If anything, it's proven Arteta right that it was to drop him in the first place and not give him any time on the pitch and all that.
I mean, he's obviously a talented lad. He's physically fit. He's got something about him. But sometimes that's not enough, is it? You've got to cement down a position and go from there, really.
As you say, you've got to make one position your own. And if you can play in other positions, when needed, you do it. But you don't. You're not. Every game, you don't want the manager to flick a coin to see where you're playing. Only at certain times do you want to help the manager out like that.
Yeah, I think
the only one that's managed to do it with great success is the one Milner. He's done it well.
Yeah.
And for a long time, he's done it well.
Yeah.
Yeah, people in the chat saying Jack of all trades, master of none.
That's it. Well done. Yeah, that's it. Jacker of all trades.
Colonel saying in chat, would none of you give Eddie a half if Vlack or Uber decide to have a poor first half? It's Northland Derby, isn't it? Yeah, he scored a flashy goal the other night, but it's Wimbledon. Apart from that goal though, that night, he didn't exactly pull up trees for me either.
No, not me.
Again, I would be very hesitant. If anything, I'd rather have Balogun on the bench out of him already, because Balogun's more long term. He needs more game time to prove himself. Whereas Eddie is at the door, and this time next year he's not going to be at the club.
So why don't I agree with what you're saying. I thought it was a bit strange that Balogun wasn't given more time than Eddie the other night. I mean, Balogun, when he came in, he looked, with all due respect, he's going to be hopefully a very good, but he looked shocking. He just looked clueless in Seattle. That one pass he had to do, a 5-yard pass, I don't know if you remember it. to Saka, I think, set us up for a nice little run at their defence, and he just like miskicked it from like what's going on. But you've got to give him a lot of time, this kid, because he's obviously got something. And why play someone that you know he's not going to be with you next year? He's told you he doesn't want to play for the club, and he's actually turned down a move, allegedly. I don't know if it's to do with money or because of the club he was going to. So give Balogun a chance. And also, when you're 3-0 up in the last 5-10 minutes, looking like that's it, it was a shame they never brought the kid on. Not kid, the kid wasn't on the bench, Charlie Patino. Shame they didn't get in for 5, or just to get him aware to, to get on the big park in front of a load of people and do a couple of things, But listen, we won at the end of the day. We won comfortably at the end, and we move on to Leeds.
Yeah, good old Leeds. We have to get Leeds, wouldn't it? It would be Leeds we get.
We always get Leeds, don't we?
Always at home.
I spoke to my friend who's a Leeds supporter today, and he told me I think it's 19 away trips on the trot Leeds have had in the cups. 19.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Do you think there's an element of that Wimbledon game that he didn't have enough confidence in that first 11 that he needed a stronger bench?
Oh yeah. Well, they always do that, don't they?
I think if he was really confident, Patino might have got a place on the bench, but he couldn't take the chance of not having a more experienced player on the bench in case things started to go wrong. Which,
well, you had other experienced players on the bench, Steve. It wasn't like one. You didn't just have one substitute.
No, but but I mean, we're not playing enough lower league teams. We're not playing, Europa League, are we? We could have blooded a lot of these players, which we did last couple of seasons, haven't we? With the younger players, we haven't got that luxury at the moment. So he's obviously going as strong as he can for every game, isn't he?
I think what disappointed us more with that is that, again, Arsenal PR and all that, all they did was pump out pictures of Charlie with the first team, training with the first team. So we all thought,
that was ridiculous.
We thought, well, hey, he'll be in the squad tonight, and then turns up, no. It's like, bloody hell.
What's all that about? I bet a few people bought his shirt before the game.
Probably.
I don't know why they didn't come out with an actual statement as to why they couldn't televise the game. Because there was obviously a contractual issue with Carabao. So why didn't they just come out and say that? Let people, know the real reason, rather than people surmising, saying, oh, well, they just want to sell this or they want to sell that. Just come out and say, we couldn't televise the game. Full stop.
I think it's because the Australian and American and the UK governments did a submarine deal. The Chinese weren't very happy about it.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, I reckon it's that. It's my theory.
Yeah, we're in bed with the Australians now, aren't we? So,
Exactly.
We'll kicking off at 1 o'clock in the morning soon. You watch.
Yeah. Imagine that, travelling into fucking North London and stupid o'clock at night. 3 in the morning trying to get back from there. Jesus Christ. Oh, dear, it is what it is. But yeah, looking forward to Sunday. I mean, coming from the opposition perspective, what a turn of events it has been there. Come back from the international break, lost 3-0 to Palace, drew 2-2 against Reims, and they just drew 2-2. They lost last week against Chelsea 3-0 at their place after just getting torn apart, basically, and then just by the skin of their teeth got through against Wolves in the Cup.
Suddenly, that Chelsea game they had was quite similar, not as bad, well, worse in my opinion, than when we had against Chelsea. Second half, they just went through the motions, Chelsea, with us. Second half, they put Spurs to bed. I mean, it was men against boys against Chelsea. For us, to a degree, and also to Spurs. Chelsea are a very good team. Very good team. And when they smell blood, they don't mess around.
Yeah, but that was our second 11. That was their first 11.
Oh, that's a fair comment. Yeah. I mean, if I was a Spurs supporter, it's like, not again. They build me up, the team. They build me up and then take my legs away. All the time.
Yeah, they do that every year. We've seen it.
I know. But not so early, though, Steve. This happened after 5 games.
Yeah, but, that's them, isn't it? That's them all over. Flat.
It's DNA, isn't it? Their DNA.
Yeah.
We love it. And we, as I said, we love it. And literally, it's sort of, no form going out the window, but it's about the 2. We're going into that game a bit more confidence as a squad as a whole, because Even though we're scraping through performance-wise, we're still getting the results suddenly.
Well, we've got more.
3-0,
Let's face it, we've got the momentum, haven't we?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Normally, that matters a lot, momentum in football. But when it's North London,
we get a 3-0, we go above them, don't we?
Everything
We get 3-0, we go
above
above them.
Yeah. But hey, they won the league in August, so that's okay. We beat the champions. So
are they qualified for Europe yet? As on that.
God knows. Oh dear. We've got Troy in the chat. We got Troy. Another thing, obviously, Steve, you put a tweet out earlier about your all-time Arsenal that lot 11. Obviously, there's none of them in there.
Yeah, I missed. Obviously, I forgot to put any of the Spuds in there for some reason. I don't know why. But...
So yeah, I was just wondering, Melvin, did you see my tweet that I basically put saying we're going to do this at the end of the podcast, basically do individual all-time 11s.
What, best 11?
Best 11 at Arsenal v Arsenal North. It's a North London thing, but obviously you don't have to put any of that in there. You can put as many Arsenal players as you want.
It's very difficult to make an 11 just with Arsenal by itself because there's so many people that you've watched and think this guy's unbelievable, and you do your 11, then you think, how can I miss him out when someone else picks a player you haven't picked? How did I possibly miss that player out? More, it might be 4 or 5 you've missed out. So I find it very difficult. It's so difficult, so difficult.
That's why I picked O'Leary in the back, just because of throwback to years gone by. You could have had 4 or 5 other players playing alongside Adams easily, but I wanted to go for a throwback player.
He's probably the best footballing centre half I've ever had.
Sorry?
O'Leary's probably the best footballing centre half I've ever had.
Yeah.
Very, very good. I mean, him and Willie Young formed a fantastic partnership. Gary.
Gary's here.
I am so sorry. I am so. I looked at it and I looked at it again. And I said, "All right, for some reason I had it in my head. It's a 3-hour difference because I was just in California last week, so I was way off. I don't know. I was way off because it's 3 hours in the opposite direction. So I'm sorry I'm late.
Well, there's one I can disagree with.
Go on.
I mean, Kenny Sampson was unbelievable, but I thought that Ashley Cole was unbelievable left back. Yeah. He was world class, absolutely world class. There's between those two. Who else? Seaman, couldn't disagree with that. Dixon,
Adams.
We had a couple of very good right backs as well.
We have been blessed with left and right backs over the years, and we have been blessed with some great left and right backs over the years.
Yes, we have. Yes.
Lauren is a great right back.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, yes. So you've missed out one of my all-time favourites, Brady, Liam Brady.
Yeah.
I mean, to watch him play was different class. Absolutely.
So would you drop that? Would you drop Gilberto and have Brady, or would you drop Bergkamp and have Brady, or Lundberg?
You can't drop Bergkamp. Those words don't go together, Steve. Come on.
Behave yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Behave yourself. You can't do that. That's not right. That's another language as far as
probably Pires then. Pires probably be the one.
Oh, you can. Oh, Pires. I love Pires. Oh.
Freddie.
It's like going in a cake shop, isn't it? That's what it's like. Going in a cake shop, you're only allowed one. No, but I want that one and all. No, you're only allowed one.
Perhaps it should have been a squad, best squad of all time, best 22 of all time. Had more of a chance then, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I suppose so. Lundberg. I'd say it was very good as well. Though he was injured for a long time with us. Was Van Persie. But he had 1 or 2 unbelievable seasons. I think when he came back from injury.
His last 2 years.
Carnu.
The Carnu.
Carnu would have loved to have got in there somehow. But
did a good record against him as well at one point. Carnu.
There's too many though, isn't there? There's too many. We've been
like I said, there are too many.
Rocky Mass. You've got Rocky Mass as well.
Rocky,
Huge drop for Ian Wright, you know.
I can show me age and show me age over Charlie George.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously, Sol Campbell for obviously honourable mention as well.
Yeah,
came across, did what he did. I'm trying to think. Oh, it's Charlie George.
McClintock.
Oh, Frank. Yeah.
McClintock, George Graham.
You know, Pat Rice. You know, it just goes on, doesn't it?
I was watching a game before. I watched Arsenal play Liverpool in the big match revisited, 1979. We had Gattin in the team.
Yeah.
It wasn't in the team that's not normally in it. It was Gattin. And the right back was Devine. Remember him, Devine?
John Devine, yeah.
John Devine.
Yeah.
But he played well. What I saw the game, John Devine played very well. Brady was injured. And we had Pat Jennings in goal. He was a great goalkeeper. We probably didn't see the best of Pat Jennings at Arsenal, but he still never let us down. He was great for Arsenal, great goalie at Arsenal, but he was an unbelievably great goalkeeper for Spurs. I mean, he kept them in so many games.
Yeah.
Who else played for us? We had Sammy Nelson, who we know, don't we, Ryan?
Yeah.
Nelson, he played. He had a decent game, not normal. We had, who was centre halves? O'Leary Young. That was what it was. Young by himself wasn't the greatest player, but him and O'Leary made a great partnership. He won everything in the air, Young, and O'Leary just swept up behind him. Brilliant partnership, those two. How we never won more things with that team, I don't know. We're all fit. Stapleton was top of the form then. He played up front. Alan Sunderland.
Yeah.
Brian Talbot in midfield.
All legends, aren't they? You know, when people talk about legends, you're just naming legends right there, aren't you? Real legends.
Yeah.
Guy, obviously, as you said, you're about half hour late behind us all. So
no, we won't mention it.
I was all prepped and ready to go, and oh my god!
So yeah,
you guys need to change your clocks to my time so that I know that whenever I look at your time, it matches mine. It's I'm sorry. Wow.
So yeah, how are you feeling going into Sunday?
Well, you know, part of me, I'm like feeling a little juiced and ready to get energized for it because I want to see how we do because that back five for me at least looks promising for me, and I'm hoping that they can grow together. And it's sad that they didn't get enough time in. You know, they only got really one game, right? And then whatever they did in practice to play together. So I'm hoping that back five does what it's supposed to do, and they can gel a lot quicker than the coach probably wants them to, because I think that's strong five for me. We've got so many problems in front of them, and who knows? And we have so many question marks, right? Who's going to play where? Who's actually in and out of form? It's that part kind of worries me. If he gets it right, it could look really good, but that's the thing. If he gets it right, and it could look kind of weird, and it could still work out because I just kind of go back to the Brighton game where I kind of looked at it and I said, oh, this is not going to work out. And we went out and we basically just had a really good game. So I'm hoping that the same happens, that he can find a mix of players to sit in front of that back five that works tomorrow, works on Sunday. And then we're pleasantly surprised when we see it, even though the lineup won't look like what we want. So, I mean, I think hopefully he's pushing the players and getting them to understand. He said he's trying to tell them what the North London Derby is all about. I hope so. I hope they realize that, this isn't just a regular game. It's not a regular match. It does matter more. It matters if they go out there and they show us 110%. That's more what I want to see. All right. If we don't see that, then we know that they don't get it. Right. They don't get that this is a big game, regardless of where we were and where we want to be. It's like, this is it. This is all you got. Right. When I want players, when they come off the pitch, to be dead tired. Right. They've done everything they can. The manager looks at them and goes, you know what? You've done well. But, I'm going to have to take you out and we're going to put somebody else in. That's what I want to feel like when those players are coming off, and the crowd should be cheering them because you know what, they've given them everything. Not I'm so glad he got off the pitch. You know, that's not what I want to see. So I'm hoping that he actually is instilling in his players the history behind this match and why it's so important. Because I think we need to see it. I don't think we've seen it yet for a while, right? And it's important, right? It's important. That's what they talk about. The fans. This is what the fans want. They want this game to be the biggest game that those players have ever played, basically, especially where we've been all season. So, yeah, I'm hoping for. Like I said, I want to be really surprised with the result based on because I know I'm going to be surprised with the lineup, right? Some of it's going to be.
Would you go with the same 11 as the last game? No changes.
That would be easy for me, but Arteta, you should be. There should be no reason. Well, definitely the back five should be set. If there's any changes there, then I'll be a little disappointed there because there's no reason to change that. Get those guys working and playing together. They're going to be around much longer than Leno is, right? Partey wanted to play. I find that that's probably the first time in a while that I've kind of looked at a player that said, you know what? I know I should be resting, but I have to play. I have to play, coach, right? I need to play if I'm going to play on Sunday, and it's a reason behind it, right? Mentally and physically, he wants to make sure he's good to go, and he looked really good. So if we get the same Partey that we saw on Wednesday from the little videos that we saw, we see the same thing. We see that same mentality, that same kind of crispness with his passes. We should be good to go. It's all a matter of who his partner is, right? So that's going to be that's the one big question mark, right? Is it going to be somebody we've already seen in the last three games, or is it going to be who we think it's going to be? And then
look at that.
Colonel's put in the chat. This is his all-time fantasy Arsenal 11 apparently. Stuart Taylor, Andre Santos, Pascal Sigons, Philippe Senderos, Jenkinson, Miachi, Biscoff, Mendes, Jovino, Jeffers, and Park Chu-young.
Is that really a fantasy team, or is that a nightmare team? I mean, I don't know. Did they get the words wrong?
Tell you what, Wenger would get that into the top four, though.
Well,
We did.
Somehow.
No, like I said, this should be a big game, and the
players won a title with him.
Yeah. Oh man.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Two of them won a title.
Were they all Wenger signings, that lot? Were they all Wenger signings? That whole lot?
Have a look. Santos was Seagon, Senderos, Jenkinson, yeah.
I think they were.
Biscoff, Mendes, Jovino, Jeffers. Yeah, they're all
What
well
about the centre half? Who's the centre half I'm thinking about? Slovakian or something, was he?
Oh, Stepanovs,
yeah.
Or Luzny. What about Luzny?
Luzny,
yeah.
Great player.
Yeah.
Nelson Vives.
Yeah.
Silvestre.
Denilson.
The list goes on and on.
Yeah.
I think that's the longer list than the good ones, though, isn't it? The longer list is the bad ones than the good ones, I think. Possibly.
Yeah, exactly. Go. You were saying before I interrupted. I apologise.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to the game. I'm hoping that they realize the significance of a result here, a big result, right? I mean, that would be really good to have them looking up at us, and that should be more than enough incentive. Oh, look at that! We got a name.
Grimandi.
Grimandi weren't that bad. He didn't get a chance. In all seriousness, he weren't a bad player, Grimandi. He had some fantastic players around him in the squad. He was a kind of a utility player, and I thought that when he played, he never let us down. No, he was a proper footballer, Grimandi. He was there to do a job. I don't think he was good in the bad class, if you like.
What was it Ray Parler said going into the 97-98 season when they're doing their pre-season and all that? Obviously, Wenger brought all these French lads in and all the foreign players in, and basically Grimandi was like, "Can I come out with you?" One night, he's like, "Can I come out with you guys? The English group, British group. Can I hang out with you?" Integrating sort of. Cross that boundary sort of thing at the time, sort of integrating, making an effort, this, that, and the other. And they literally got to the bar, and what was it? They were like, "What do you want?" Basically, he said, "Oh, I have a red wine or whatever." half a glass of red wine. They've all gone full gun hose, shots, spears, you name it. He's like, what the fuck? And then they pop out, a couple of hours later, they pop outside, and the defence players are outside smoking.
No, but what he said, I think Parler said that what he said when they got all the drinks, all the beers, and it's all. He goes, "Who else is coming in?" He goes, "No one else." No one else. Why do I say that? What are you talking about? Can I pop away for 1 minute? I've just had something happen. I'll be back in a minute or two.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah. That's fine. As well. But yeah, Grimandi was it was never going to be a first team with the players we had at the time. But when he did come in, as Mother said, he never let us down. He put a shift in.
Yeah.
He never complained about it either.
Well, I think all of them gave their all, didn't they? A lot of them just weren't good enough, but they all gave everything they could. But it just didn't work out, did it? But the poll I'm running on Twitter at the moment, 76% are saying no for Xhaka coming back in on Sunday. So
you know what that means then? We all know what that means then. If Arteta sees that.
Oh, yeah.
Number 34.
He already said he's been practicing well, which, practicing, against Arsenal is the same as, playing in a North London derby because, how well we practice, right? I mean, I just, I mean, if he's learned anything from Gabriel, it should be that he's not ready to come back in this match this soon, right? I mean, Gabriel, he, did not look the same for the first number of games when he came back, right? Yeah. So he needs to sit it out if there was, COVID was involved and, and all of that. So I think.
Is there an argument that he's played in the North London derby before, whereas the other guys haven't, and he'd want that in his side? Is there an argument there for that?
Because I was saying the other night, the last 3 North London derbies he's played in, 2 of them with fans, and he gave away penalties. There's commitment, and there's too much commitment. He just doesn't know. He doesn't know how to balance no matter who we're playing. Yeah. And the last big team he played, or big game, sorry, it was Man City. We got battered 5-0, 2-0 down. What does he go and do? He throws a towel in, and lets the team down.
So he's not trending in the right way in terms of like should he come? Can't he just come in off the street and play? Right? There's nothing that says he can.
Not for me, but as we've said, Arteta makes his own decisions. He'll see if he sees a reason to bring him back, then he won't listen to anybody else. But he'll just do what he thinks is right.
I mean, past history doesn't.
So if he brings him in and it all goes pear-shaped, then he's going to take the flak, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know what? It's like managers shouldn't take the risks when it's only a downside. I mean, let's talk about West Ham for 30 seconds. That penalty situation the other day against Man United. The manager wouldn't have got any pats on the back for picking that player to take that penalty, right?
No.
All he could have got was grief if the guy missed it. So why do that? The downside is far exceeds the upside. And when you take risks in life, football or whatever, you've got to gauge that. What's the upside? What's the downside? What's the risk? And I don't know what his thinking was. And it's a bit with Xhaka. Even if he thinks he's the best player this side of the Mississippi, if he picks him, he's actually saying to people, I'm put my head on the chopping block. Well, people won't forget, because it's a big game, this game against Spurs. All games are big against Spurs, but it seems like as they go on more and more, it's getting bigger because the clubs are so near each other now, right? And they've been ahead of us the last few seasons. For the first time, we can't afford, and we can never afford to lose. But even now, when we're so close, we've got a little bit of momentum going. We've got what we think is hopefully, our best 11 players. You can't afford to take any risks. You really can't. If he does, then I don't understand the thinking behind it all. But let's hope he's a bit more conservative in his picking on Sunday.
I don't think he doesn't make the team stronger, does he, bringing Xhaka on? In this situation right now, where he's been out for 3 games, we're on a 3-game winning run, no conceding, players bedding in. Why would you want to upset all of that and send out the wrong message to those players? Because you're basically saying to those players, it doesn't matter well you play, if Xhaka's fit, he's playing.
Yeah,
and
the problem with that is history's shown that that's kind of what happens, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So he hasn't, if he doesn't change his spots, he's going to be doing the exact same thing. It's like, you haven't played in a month, right? That's what the comment there said.
Also,
you're ready to play in the North London Derby, right?
Yeah,
and you've been sick. That affects your cardio. This isn't going to be an easy game for anybody, right? So
no, Mark's right. I said it on when I watched it. Imagine if Arteta did that.
Yeah, we were literally talking in the group chat, Melvin, about that. Literally, me, yourself, and a few others in the group chat saying, if Arteta did that, it'd be a bloodbath now.
Yeah,
as we're speaking.
But the
managers are trying to make out there's some sort of tactical geniuses where they come up with this shit sometimes and just think, I'm so good at my job and I can see all these things and I'm, nobody expect me to do this. And, he walks straight on the pitch, picks the ball up and somebody posted his heat map. We had one spot on it.
None of his ideas have been successful. When he's been forced, things have worked out. But when he's actually said, "You know what? I got an idea here. Let's try this."
I got a cunning plan, as they used to say, Gary. Remember that?
There you go.
Cunning plan.
It never works out. I mean, just keep it simple. Keep it simple, Arteta. Keep it simple.
You don't have to prove anything.
Must have said, Moyes, that's not a good idea. Somebody or something along must have said, "What you're doing, boss," but obviously not.
Yeah, go ahead. We don't need the points.
Not a big team we're playing.
Oh, dear. I mean, they got it. As I said to my cousin on Wednesday, they got their revenge in the end. Obviously on Wednesday in the cup. So no, it was a mix of a second string for them, but the same for West Ham. Spurs. Remember now, we've got Leeds. West Ham got City.
Have they?
Liverpool got Preston. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember. One sec.
No, I was listening to some Spurs fans talking about the match, and they're, if they see Aubameyang and Xhaka on the team sheet, they're going to be happy. They see Lacazette and somebody else next to Partey, you're going to be a little concerned there. So, I mean, it's crazy that everybody else knows except for maybe the man at top, right? Who's in charge of this thing. So I'm hoping that he comes to his senses and says, you know what, Xhaka, maybe not Sunday.
We'll rest you. We'll save you for another game, Xhaka.
There's no reason to rush him in. No reason.
That's right. Just in case, take it easy.
Yeah, just in case. Don't risk anything, please.
Yeah, as I said earlier, I said on one of my chats, like, if X starts, then you just follow the X on the screen because it's gonna tell you whether it's gonna tell you where the game's won or lost. X marks the spot for sure. Depending on how he's playing, that's could be how this match is gonna pan out. Because either you're gonna kill Partey because he's gonna have to do everything, or it's just gonna go, as they say, tits up, and and who knows what's going to happen there.
If Xhaka knocks one in like a free kick from 30 yards, I guess we'll be doing the after-match interview.
Oof.
Just imagine
And that means that he'll definitely be staying. See, you win and then you lose. You win and then you lose right after.
Got assembled in the chat saying, I just want to see how Xhaka and Leno get slotted back into the team as they will be back within 5 or more games, he thinks. I mean, we were saying earlier, in terms of the goalkeeping side of things, hopefully Arteta's learned his lesson from last year with the Martinez situation and how he dealt with that. And whilst Ramsdale's not making any errors and performing the way we need him to perform, keep him in goal as long as possible. Only if he's as an absolute clown and falls apart, then you can say, okay, Leonard's got an argument to be back in here. But until then has to suck up as the part-time goalkeeper.
There's only one problem with that.
Yeah.
Didn't we? I don't know what the deal was, but there's rumours that the deal was that if he becomes our number one goalie at a short space of time, we've got to pay another £4 million. Do you reckon someone upstairs going, "Don't pick him, it costs us a few bob. Wait a bit."
Give it. Take him out for a couple of games.
We qualify for Europe. You'll get that $4 million back though, won't you? Pretty quick.
Yeah, what was that rumor? There was a rumor last year, wasn't there? With Marvy, that was it, Marvy, because it was before he won at the time, and then out of nowhere, he just didn't play for nearly 2 months.
It was only about £1 million or something, wasn't it?
There was like £1 million. There was like £1 million bonus that they had.
£1 million, and I think a bag of licorice, all sorts.
Yeah, I think they paid the first installment, and then when it got, then they probably realized, wait a second, I'm gonna pay him again every time, because I think it was like every 10 matches or something like that. They got a little bonus. So.
Yeah, Tottenham away to Burnley in the next round.
Oh, that's not easy. God dear.
Yeah, I think probably somebody in the accounts department at Arsenal probably rang Arteta and said, "Look, we're a bit tight this month. Can you leave him out till next month?"
Or what he could do, if he thinks Ramsdale's a better goalkeeper, he can start with Leno and sub him after a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, could do.
Yeah, technically he's got away with it. Yeah, that's to work. We never know. Yeah. Oh dear.
You bring in a player. Yeah. I think you bring in a player with that contract, you're expecting to have to pay the full amount, or else, I think you've overvalued him, right? If you're not going to spend all that money on him, then that means, wait a second, he is my reserve, and I spent, double, triple the amount on a reserve goalkeeper, and that's not good either. So you're hoping that you actually, hit lightning in a bottle, as they say, and it works out.
It's very similar, Gary, to no one likes paying taxes, but I want to pay £1 million in tax next year.
I would like to do that too.
That's very similar type of way of looking at things, isn't it?
Yeah. Because if it's $1 million, that means that you're short in the government because you get all the tax breaks. So,
General secrets.
The rich don't pay all the taxes, right? So, at least over here, they don't pay all the taxes that they should.
They don't have either, trust me. Believe you.
Especially if they're corporations, Gary. Especially if they're corporations.
Yeah, they're taking losses every year.
Yeah.
They got a new boat, right? And a plane, so.
Yeah. Got to pay for the
offshore, all the money
in Spain and all that.
Cayman Islands, wherever.
But yeah, going back to obviously wrapping things up soon. Obviously, the big game we've covered it pretty much. So we'll go around the table pretty much and get your sort of score predictions and where you think the game's going to be won or lost or drawn in Tottenham's case. We'll start with you, Melvin.
It's a very big word. If he chooses the team with the same back five, including the goalkeeper, I fancy we're going to do them 2-0. I'm confident that we can do them 2-0. They can't afford, Tottenham, have anything go wrong in this game from the first kick-off. They're at a low. I know they won the other night, but from starting the season as league champions, all of a sudden, reality set in, and it's really going to hurt them, especially if we're lucky enough for the league top thing to show us above them. It means nothing, right? It means nothing really, but for bragging. But psychologically, for their fans to see us above them, it's like daggers through the heart. So they cannot afford to do anything wrong to start with them. They can't give away any silly goals, Spurs, because they're on the edge anyway with their supporters, and that would just take their legs away. We've seen it in our club as well. When things have been going badly, we can't afford anything to go wrong, and they're in that position. So hopefully we go at them from where we go. We put them under pressure. Because they don't, I've said it about Arteta, but hopefully it's changing now. They don't know their best 11 either, in all fairness.
No.
Or their centre halves, for that matter, even their centre half. So let's go there. Let's just, pick the right team, have the right attitude, and we should be too good for them. That's me 2-0.
And let's not forget, Melvin, also, they've got the best striker in the world that doesn't want to be there, so there's not hiding it either.
Talk about body language. he makes Ozil look like a party man, doesn't he? His body language. I mean, I've never seen shoulders below the knees before. Have you?
No. Even when he scored on Wednesday, he's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, great, I've scored next. So he's just counting down the days.
Have you noticed that since this season, since there's obviously he's not 100% happy, he don't dive anymore. He can't even be bothered diving.
No, we'll say that now.
Yeah, we'll wait till okay, cool.
Wait till Sunday.
You did there, Melvin. See what you did there, Melvin? He's going to be undercutting all of our players when they jump in the air. He's going to give a shoulder shiver.
Making the back.
You know, Saka's getting a shoulder shiver. You know he is.
Foam in the air, free kick.
He's going to be. You got to see Saka running, and next thing you know, his feet are going to be up in the air, and like, what just happened?
Well, I hope Gabriel remembers what Kane did to him in the last game.
Oh, sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
That's right. Gabriel, it was Gabriel that got the little shoulder when he wasn't looking.
Yeah,
I think it was Gabriel in the first North London derby last year at their place where he came through him up in the air as well with his little fucking. Oh, you're coming towards me. I'm going to do this and claim a foul whilst you're in midair. So Gabriel, he's done a few nasty things last year, Mourinho tactics, so they say, and it looks like they're going to come back and bite him on the arse. Hopefully, touch wood. But this is the thing with Kane. It's sort of unsettling that in one sense, that he hasn't performed so far because it will just be our luck. He'll use us as a template.
Well, he will do. He loves to score against us. He loves to prove something wrong, that we were wrong to let him go, which we obviously were. So don't prove it, Kane. You're right.
Now we are, but obviously at the time we had better players ahead of him, let's be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Going through it. But obviously, yeah, it is what it is. But no one of Arsenal if he stayed after his first breakthrough season would have fucking sold him for half of what he's worth to a rival. Oh dear. But yeah, apart from that, the overall person really genuinely frightened of is Son. Really, he's only real threat that, in my opinion, they've got that will give 100%. Like he'll go at us basically. He'll try every trick in the book. Whereas the other sort of either Harry Kane's half fight doesn't want to be there, you can tell, or the others will do a bit but not enough because we've got players in them positions to sort of body them and deal with them and this, that, and the other. It'll be one of them very tight. I think it'll be very, very, very tight in the sense of because of how Arteta sets the team up and how we play. As we saw on Wednesday, Melbourne, how we played against Wimbledon for most of that match.
Yeah.
If we get an early goal, we're just going to sit back and protect it and try and get them in the counter every now and then. That's what Arteta does, and that would be a concerning thing because obviously Tottenham to Wimbledon is different kettle of fish. But I do reckon
the way Chelsea played them, Ryan. Chelsea went 1-0 up and went for the throat.
Yeah,
Tottenham had no answer.
When was the last time we did that though? Like we went 1-0 up against anyone, and we went, okay, no mercy now. You're going to be punished for this. It's too long. But my score prediction, I'm going to go for a 3-1 win. I think they'll score, but I think they'll just, as I said, be too much for them. 2 clear goals, a 3-1 win at home as well. I think the crowd's going to be important as well. As long as we've got to sing warning just to Tottenham chance, obviously, because that's all we did on fucking Wednesdays. So to Tottenham chance, along with Smith and Saka's thing. Mix up, guys. Literally, just go. Make sure make it as intimidating as possible for not just for their fans, but for their players, and get our lot up for it as much as we can and get them over that line because we're going to need that. We need the points. I know it's early on, but we need the points. And why not do it when they seem to be at their lowest? I mean, I've seen Tottenham fans, as you said, Melvin, literally suddenly going from Nuno's a god to get him out.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it, Steve? What about yourself? What's your score prediction and what you think is going to happen on Sunday?
I think if he goes with the same 11, I think they'll want to make a statement, or they should make a statement, and I think I'll go for a 3-0 because I am confident, and I think this team is starting to gel. Solid back five, keep the creativity, and Aubameyang's going to start scoring, and I'm confident, and I'll go 3-0.
Stand the man.
Simple.
3-0, bloody hell. I'll
And
take,
we go
I'll
above
take
them
it.
in the league. And we go
Oh,
above
yeah,
them in the
that's
league.
cool. Yeah, we win by 3 goals, yeah. You know what? I'll take it. I'll
4-1.
I'll be
I'll take 4-1. 3-0 or 4-1. I'll take that.
any score line will do. Any 3-goal lead will do. As long as you give them a good hide, and I don't care. I'll be. If that happens, trust me, I am going to be unbearable to them lot on social media. And
I'll take a 1-0 with a Xhaka tap in on the 90th minute.
Yeah, and I think my aunt will put me on a block on WhatsApp because I will be unbearable. She is one of them, apparently. So, yeah, so you won't know what's here. Gary, what about yourself?
Yeah, I'm hoping we're all happy come Sunday. I guess for me it would be Sunday afternoon, but for you guys it will be just before dinner, I guess, right? Or just after dinner. So
don't start with the times again, Gary. You've had your opinion.
I did. I messed that all up, didn't I?
No, you cannot be late on Sunday. You're in
I will
charge.
not be late on Sunday. Oh my gosh. I won't be late because I'm definitely watching the match. So you got that. Oh, sorry about that. But yeah, I believe it's going to be. I believe it's going to be 2-goal lead for Arsenal at least. So I had 3-1. So I kind of between Melvin and Steve, I kind of agree, and I guess also Ryan in terms of I think a goal will be scored. They're going to get one through past us. Even if Xhaka plays, I think we still can do that. I don't even want to say his name. I call him X, but sometimes you have to say his name. Yeah, 34 works much better. But it's like it's like a lot of syllables there, or I don't know. It's just more than that guy. Just like the team we're playing, I call him that team. So yeah, no, I think 3-1. I would like to see if Aubameyang starts. If he can't get shots on goal or if he looks like he's out of sorts, then he needs to go at halftime. This needs to be one of those type of games where, you know what, at halftime I made a mistake, right, Arteta, and it's just not working out. So maybe Lacazette comes in at halftime and we switch things up a little bit. But it's got to be one of those matches where you just can't let the other team control it, or else we'll be in trouble. So 3-1 to the Arsenal. And at the end of the day, guess who's looking up at us? That's all I want. That's kind of what I would like to see. Not only did you lose, but now you got to look up at us. So that'd be nice.
We're always 3 games ago, so it's only fair that we turn the favour. Oh dear. As I've just given away, Gary, we are doing a watch. Well, the watch will be on the channel, but Gary's going to be in charge. We're just talking about the guests and all that as well, but he is in sole charge. Everything goes wrong, tell me. No.
Because
I won't have a clue what's going on because you don't have it. Even if you're 4G on your phone, you don't get that signal at the end. Trust me. So I won't have a clue until I get out and near Earl's Court or whatever. So yeah, best behaviour everyone in the chat. But yeah, Gary's going to take charge of that. I'm going to try and do a vlog for that as well. Melvin's doing these things as well for the channel. These are aftermatch reaction. And at some point next week, Glenn from New York, he's going to start doing a weekly review reaction thing that he used to do on AFTV for the channel as well. Have a bit of a laugh, there. We're back on Monday. In terms of podcast, myself, I'll be back on Monday evening for the reaction to whatever happens on Sunday. Obviously with Steve, and hopefully the others pop up for once. If not, I'll sort that out. And then tomorrow I'm doing a watch along at 12:30 for the Man City Chelsea game. Why not? It gets me through the first few hours of the day anyway. And then we'll be back at 10:25 tomorrow for the in the evening UK time for the Match of the Day stream. And then Match of the Day 2 will be obviously coming back on the back of obviously everything else that's coming up for the North London Derby wise after that. But yeah, so got very, very busy weekend, a lot of content, but obviously as I said, Gary's in charge on Sunday, so he's gonna look after you as long as you look after him and behave yourselves.
It should be fun. Hopefully it's a lot of fun. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
And I assume you're not going. You're going to be at the match. Is that right, or you have other
Yes.
things to do? So,
And as Melvin's made me fully aware, I'm not far from that being next to that lot either. So yeah.
I hope you have a lot of fun. Too much fun. Hopefully, you forget a lot. That's what I hope. I hope you forget a lot, not because you don't want to remember it. It's just because you had too much fun. Yeah, that's right. Tell them why not. Don't do it. I got friends. I got friends over there. They'll come get you. So
they know where I live.
In his dungeon, yeah.
He's got space. He's got vacancies. I think he's expanding. So
you've all got to behave yourself, otherwise you know what's going to happen.
All I do is press a button and you just slide right down, and boom! Next time you wake up, you're like, where am I?
No questions asked.
Oh dear. But yeah, with that, guys, we're going to wrap things up. Obviously, thanks to Melvin, Gary, and Steve for joining us. And obviously, everyone else in the chat. Stan, the Assembled, NFC, Gary, Steve, and all the others are basically have been in as well.
Mark Green,
Mr. Bungle.
Good things up. Mark Green put some good things up.
Mark Green as well, yeah, Greenie. And yeah. Melvin, where can people find you? Before we go.
On as below, the old name says, Melvin, the only way is Arsenal Marks on Twitter. I'm on your channel and over and over again, and obviously on from Dial Square to Where. But I'm always on Twitter, always saying something. I'm always willing to give a comment, but no one actually wants to hear them normally. But anyway, that's where I'm at.
And Gary, what about yourself?
Yeah, so I guess you'll find me here most match days. Arsenal Fan Circle 2 days a week. I got my own show, the Extra Time Podcast on the Red Cannon. So you'll find me there, and then I kind of jump. Everybody says I'm always everywhere. So if you're in a chat, I probably might be there. So, I'll see you in the chats or at Twitter. Don't waste a tweet. I do have my own channel, but I haven't been able to put out any shows. I've been a little busy. So, yeah,
and
that's it.
And lastly, Steve as well. What about yourself?
Yeah, just on here and Steve at 1886 on Twitter. So, yeah, been a great show, guys, again, as usual. Thank you very much.
Absolutely no problem. The pleasure's all mine. And as I said, I'll see you tomorrow. Well, 12:20 tomorrow for the Man City Chelsea game. But Arsenal content-wise, Gary's taking over on Sunday. Then I'll pop back briefly, and then full podcast reaction. It's going to be on Monday evening, and all that. All the tweets will go out for that as soon as I get everything organised. And yeah. So yeah, if you're new to the channel, if you enjoyed this and all that jazz, do subscribe, do smash that like button, share the content around, because it does help the channel out massively. The audio to this will be up on all the audio platforms, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and all that jazz in the next 40 odd minutes once it gets downloaded. And from that, we'll see you soon. And until then, guys, as always,
come on,
go.
Let's go.
Cheers.